Welcome back to Operations Management. In our first lecture, we talked about what operations was, and I also said that we were going to be looking at operations from a process perspective. So today we're going to talk about what process basics are, what you need to know about a process. In general, a process is a transformation. It takes inputs and converts them into outputs. So as you look at this diagram here, we have inputs entering into the process and outputs coming out. That's all a process is. So what do I mean by inputs? Inputs are things that flow into the process. For example, they could be orders, they could be travelers, they could be people, they can be raw materials, they could be dollars invoiced. They're things that enter into a process that then get changed in some way. So things go into a process in order to be changed. When we study those particular items going into a process, carefully we look at them and we call them a flow unit. This is what we're tracking as they go through the process. Coming out of the process, we have outputs. So if we had orders coming into the process, we would have completed orders coming out. If we have travelers coming into a process, maybe coming out of the process, they're travelers that have a completed security scan. Units going in, finished products coming out, dollars that are part of an invoice. Now we have dollars that are being paid. So as you can see, we took an input and transformed it somehow to become an output. But what goes on inside that process? We actually have to make that transformation happen. And in that transformation, we have to apply things such as energy, labor, equipment. These are used to make that transformation happen. These are tangible resources, and so we're taking an input, applying resources to them to create the output. When we look inside the process as well, it's not just one block. What we have are a whole series of interconnected activities. If you look at inside our box here for the process, you notice all these little rectangles. Those are activities. Triangles are called buffers, places where things wait. So if you think about a large organization, you know that as things pass through an organization, activities happen. Sometimes things have to wait. But when we combine it all together into a good network, that's what's going on inside the process. So the inputs enter into the process, we're applying those resources, they're traveling through all of these activities and buffers, and then we have outputs. But that's not enough. How do we know how many of things to make, when we need them, and so forth? That's information. This is also part of the whole process. We need information that tells us what we need to know in order to perform the process. And we also need management, policies, procedures, such as hiring practices, shift work, things like that. That's part of the management of the process. So when we pull it all together, what we have is the inputs flowing into a process, which is a network of activities and buffers. We are applying resources, tangible items such as labor, capital, equipment, to convert them into outputs. We use information that tells us how much, when, how to make things, and we have overall management structure to keep everything organized. And that's all that goes on in a process. In our next class, we'll talk about what makes a good process. See you then.